The United States and Israel had been allies for decades, tied by defense cooperation and intelligence sharing. American satellites watched Israel's skies as closely as their own, but the events of that night would expose how fragile that security net really was. The Houthis, though often dismissed as a small militia, had evolved. Over the years, with Iranian training, they'd mastered the use of long-range drones and anti-ship missiles. They had hit Saudi oil fields before, had fired at U.S. ships in the Red Sea, but striking Israel directly, that was something new. It was no longer just a regional act of defiance, it was a geopolitical message. Iran could strike America's ally anywhere, anytime. In Washington, senior defense officials had debated for weeks how to contain these rising threats. Some wanted preemptive strikes on missile sites in Yemen. Others warned it would inflame the entire region. The order never came. And so, the launchers stayed hidden, waiting for their moment. On the night of the attack, Israeli early warning systems detected unusual signals from the south. It looked like a test launch at first. But within seconds, radar signatures confirmed multiple projectiles, fast-moving, low-flying, skimming just above radar range. The trajectory was clear. They were coming from Yemen. At 1:47 a.m., the first missile hit. The blast was massive. Glass, metal, and fire filled the air. Emergency crews scrambled, thinking it was a fuel explosion. But before they could act, a second and third impact followed. Security feeds went black. Sirens howled across the city. Tel Aviv was under attack, not from Gaza, not from Lebanon, but from nearly 1,000 miles away. The world woke up to breaking headlines. Social media exploded with videos of smoke rising from the airport. Israel's defense minister confirmed a direct hit, but withheld details. Within an hour, Pentagon analysts traced the missile's origin to Yemen's Taiz province. The data matched earlier satellite readings. It was no longer speculation. The launchers were Iranian-built, the guidance systems Iranian-tuned, and the fingerprints unmistakable. Why, for Washington, it wasn't just an attack on Israel. It was an attack on deterrence itself, on the idea that U.S. naval power could contain threats across oceans. The Pentagon's message was simple. Retaliation was not optional. At 3 a.m. local time, messages went out to every U.S. Navy vessel in the Red Sea. The standing order was lifted. The USS Eisenhower's Combat Information Center came alive. Lights dimmed. Radar screens locked onto new targets. Officers gave quiet confirmations over encrypted comms. Calm before the storm was over. The United States was about to fire back. 1:47 a.m. Tel Aviv. The first missile exploded near the terminal's main structure. The blast ripped through glass walls and scattered debris across the tarmac. Flames surged into the night. The air smelled of jet fuel and burning concrete. Within seconds, the control tower lost power. Every screen went black. Air traffic officers shouted coordinates, but the communication lines were jammed. It was chaos. At 1:49 a.m., a second projectile hit the airport's maintenance hangar. This one carried a heavier warhead. The detonation was so powerful that it registered as a small earthquake. Cameras from nearby hotels captured a fireball rising hundreds of feet into the air. Civilians fled toward underground shelters. For decades, Israel had faced rocket attacks, but never one that came from this far away.